Alex, get the interceptor to the transport truck. Nostra is closing in.
Get your men to the north side of the house.
Some video game franchises have blossomed as they shift from generation to generation. They take advantage of new technology and find creative ways to make you still feel like you're playing the same old game. Spy Hunter is not one of those franchises. It's a series that keeps going in the wrong direction no matter how many weapons they stack on their trademark car or what famous personality they drop in the driver's seat. Nowhere to Run is supposedly based on the motion picture of the same name, that is currently nowhere to be found. It hasn't begun production yet, which makes the inclusion of Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson a bit random on its own. Considering the movie might never hit the silver screen, you'll either have to be a big fan of Spy Hunter or The Rock to get much out of this rehashed plot.
Well, I guess we know what that means.
While on a routine mission, the infamous Interceptor is stolen by the Nostra Corporation. As Alex Decker, The Rock has to run around and deliver the people's punch to anyone that stands in between him and his wheels. While the WWE champ brings in a lot of charisma, and his combat sections give the game some interesting variety, there's no reason to change the ballistic Spy Hunter action that's done just fine for years tucked inside a seatbelt. Nowhere to Run has you running through third-person combat shooting areas and long strips of high-speed missile blast. Both of these modes have their problems, the biggest being the fact that there are two of them to begin with. Splitting up the development perspective has caused the new on-foot fighting to feel uninspired, and the old-school racing to lack substance. As usual, the Interceptor takes three main forms: a car, a boat, and a motorcycle. You're never given the chance to choose which one is most effective, as it automatically switches back and forth when the level calls for it. The Interceptor carries the same missiles, machine guns, tire spikes, and oil slicks it's featured before or stolen from other action games. You can now select multiple targets at once in a salvo mode, but it's only available during a few key moments. The driving mechanics feel pretty sloppy. For the action arcade attitude Spy Hunter exudes, you'd think the age-old car of the future would handle a little easier. What's worse is that just when you start to get cozy with the controls, or absorbed in the fast-paced, tire-squealing sequences, you're taken out of the car and forced to run the excitement off for a while. Alex Decker has a surprising amount of abilities and weapons to choose from, which is amusing for two reasons. One, it gives you an assortment of guns and attacks to experiment with in a game about a car, and two, only a few of them are necessary given the disabled AI of your enemies. One of the few impressive elements in Nowhere to Run is its pace. The racing sequences rarely stop to let you catch your breath, and the combat sections, for better and worse, keep things continually moving. It's also hard to fault the game for offering numerous attack functions, including mechs and mounted guns. Spy Hunter's the one franchise that wasn't asking for it though, depending on who you ask, so most of these feel added on just to be there. The Interceptor concept is all about cutting-edge technology, pushing the limits of what a car or boat can do to create never-before-seen action. But what scientific advancements are present in the game stop there. The weapons you bring are loadout standards like machine guns and rocket launchers, whereas the James Bond series from EA, which Spy Hunter is now even closer to emulating, is constantly reinventing its arsenal. The visuals aren't noticeably bad, but the overall presentation is weak. The Rock's voiceover and mannerisms help Decker become somewhat of a leading role. But without the movie to base it on, it's hard to identify his character as anything more than a face and a voice to fill the empty cockpit. Instead of rebuilding Spy Hunter's Interceptor from the ground up to make an action racer that could potentially smoke Burnout, or adding third-person shooting and grappling control to make you feel like Sam Fisher and Triple H at the same time, Nowhere to Run ends up being a mediocre mix of both.
Benjamin minute! I am unarmed.
Well then, looks like I'll just be kicking your ass in a more hands-on style.